Hi, I'm Dan Hernandez. I'd like to welcome you to this week's episode of Sport Fishing. Well, today we're offshore on a multi-day fishing trip. We'll be fishing aboard the Islander, looking for tuna, Dorado, Yellowtail. You never know what to expect. So stay tuned for this week's exciting episode of Sport Fishing. This week's episode of Sport Fishing is brought to you by Shakespeare Rods and Reels, Cajun Red Fishing Line, Fluger Reels, Cabela's, America's Outfitter, Game Saver, and Blue Cross of California Foundation.
Hi, I'm Jason, one of the second captains on the Islander. I'm here today to just give you a tip about bait fishing for tuna. You know, when you're offshore here, you know, like 90% of getting bit with a tuna is bait selection. You know, you see a lot of guys out here that are picking, you know, poor baits that aren't really swimming, and at least of them not really getting hooked up. You know, a guy that takes the time and picks out a good bait and gets it in the water and it's actively swimming, you know, it leads him to hook up and ultimately a fish. So basically we have two different types of baits here. A good bait, which would include having all its scales, swimming fast, you know, it's not looking beat up. And also the bad bait we have example of is red, it's missing a lot of scales, it's not really swimming very well in the tank. And it's going to lead, once it's in the water, it's not going to swim very well either. It's not going to get the fish's attention as a good bait would, you know, by darting around and flashing around.
Move right, yeah.
Follow your fish, man. Follow your fish. Under and over. Yeah, slide in. Under and over.
Is that you folks?
It feels good. It feels good.
Nice yellow. Going to left 2 steps. Come on up, guys. Come on to the left. Step up to the left, guys. Come on over the top. I'm gonna need that gaff. See here? That gave me a workout. Thanks, Bill.
fish. All your lines, guys. Stay on top.
Fish Fact, brought to you by Eagle Claw. Yellowtail range from British Columbia to Chile and can get as big as 5 feet in length and weigh up to 100 pounds. They feed on anchovies, sardines, mackerel, and squid, and are second only to the elusive albacore as a popular game fish.
I got good color. Here, hold on. Real good. There's a fighter. Whoa! Color. Big fish. Yellowfin. Reel up, reel up, reel up. Put your eyes in mouth.
There we go. Got a wide open Dorado bite going right here. There's a nice fish right there, Capt. Keep the fish in the water.
Get that in there.
It's a solid fish.
Stay right there. Come over. Come over.
It's just solid Dorado. This is what happens when you're cow petty fishing. We got about 12 Dorado going. There's fish everywhere. We're gonna probably lose a ton of fish. There's so many fish in the water. Yellowtail in there. Oh, yellowfin over here.
Dorado. I'm gonna bounce this one.
Yellowfin right here in the corner.
There we go.
Right here. There's a yellowfin just came in behind me. Okay, here we go. Here's my fish.
Oh, nice Dorado, Dan.
Yeah. There we got Dorado going right here. Let's bring him right up. Oh, he's not ready.
Yeah, we'll be very careful with this guy.
There he comes. It's there you go. That's all right. There we go.
Yeah.
Nice Dorado.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. It's a beautiful Dorado. It's wide open fishing right now. Great fishing aboard the Islander. This is day one of our multi-day trip. Let's take a little break from the action, visit the tackle box, and show you the gear we're using for this type of fishing. This week, the tackle box is brought to you by Shakespeare, manufacturer of America's best-selling fishing rod, the Ugly Stick. I want to talk to you a little bit about how do you pin on the bait when you're yellowtail fishing. Now, when you're fishing with live bait, when you're fishing offshore, you're normally going to just fly line a bait. And the way we do that is you just take your live bait hook, and when you come to the bait receiver, This is the bait tank. You don't want to dig in there. You want to go in the bait well. The bait well, we have a couple of baits here. And the normal way I want to hook it is for live bait fishing, no sinker. Just going to pin it right through the nose, just like that. See how the hook's right in front of the nose, in front of the eyeballs? That's the way it should look. So move around nice and freely. Now another rig that we fish is when we're fishing the dropper loop. The dropper loop rig, it's a real basic rig. You just have your big sinker, you have the hook in the loop, and normally when we do this, it's because we want to get the bait on the bottom, close to the bottom, so the sinker's on the bottom. We want this bait to swim around. Now if you're using a really big bait, you probably want to have a bigger loop, but for mackerel, sardines, this is fine. And what you want to do is take your mackerel, and you just would pin it on like we did the sardine, right in front of the eyeballs. Just come right here. There's two little holes right there. You just pin it in just like that. And that's how we do it. So your bait will actually be sitting on the bottom, and your mackerel can move around. He'll move in the loop and stuff, and he'll look lifelike. And that way you can keep a nice big bait like that close to the bottom. I tell you, I've seen a lot of big yellowtail caught on a rig like this. Well, let's show you some exciting action and show you what it's like to go yellowtail fishing.
Watch it, move your line, buddy.
Definitely spread out. We got a big boat here.
Bust. Look at that line ahead. You got slack going all the way around.
You leave them in the water, leave them in the water. There you go.
Yeah!
There you go. Yellowfin tuna.
Yellowfin, baby, first one.
There you go.
Anything?
Two left, 2 steps.
There he is.
Got him.
All right, well, we got a good bite going here. We're just picking away. It's been really good fishing. We still got plenty of time. It's still late afternoon here, but the fishing's been good. We got some nice big Dorado. I got that nice one today. Yellows like that, quality size yellows. We haven't really seen the little yellows that we see a lot of time when we're cow patty fishing like this, but it's been pretty good. So we're gonna keep working our way a little bit farther north. We still have another day to fish. So we're gonna try to finish off the day out here, see if we can get some more of those nice Dorado. If we're lucky, get some yellowfin tuna. And then, you know, those yellowtail, those are all bonus fish. It's a lot of fun. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more action here aboard the Islander, fishing offshore. Well, welcome back, and we just slid on another kelp. I got a fish going. Got a nice little kelp here. I got 30-pound Cajun red line here, fluger reel, and an ugly stick tiger rod. You got a pin hook on here made by Eagle Claw, and just lifting up. Here he comes. He's going to come up to the surface. It's a nicer Dorado. It's coming right up to the top. He's gonna jump. He's gonna jump. He's gonna jump. Oh, he's running on the surface. When you fight fish like this, you just want to lift up the rod when you can, and then wind down. You load up the rod. Just trying to work the fish away from everybody. Andrew's over here on the gaff ready. It's a nice Dorado. See him right there at the surface coming up.
He's going.
Yeah, you go over me. I'm just trying to work my way free over here. This is one of the things that happens on these cow patty trips, multi-day trips, even one-day trips when you're tuna fishing. You never know when you slide by a cow patty if it's going to be a yellowtail, yellowfin, maybe even a bluefin or albacore. And every once in a while you get these exotics. Like this year, a lot of Dorado in the area. This is a nice Dorado. Normally you have to travel all the way down to Baja to get a fish like this. So we can keep this fish from getting under the boat. You just want to keep the rod tip away from the boat. Beautiful color. That is a big dodo. Oh, swimming away. Oh, it is a big one. All right. I just put in free spool just in case, so that's a big fish. There we go. Oh, nice Dorado.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right, guys, just wind them up. We'll be looking for some more here.
What was your name?
Matt.
Matt.
25 through 28, you guys are still up.
That's a big bull Dorado. Matt just gaffed it for me. You can tell it's a bull by the flat head. You can see the hook there. That's a pin hook made by Eagle Claw. Red hook, red line. Beautiful quality fish. Thanks, Matt.
No problem, Dan. No problem.
Well, let's take a little break from the action. We're gonna go visit the galley and show you how to cook up delicious fish like we're catching today. Woo! This week, the galley is brought to you by Dan Hernandez Dipping Sauces and the Baja Style Fish Batter. This week in the galley, we're gonna cook up one of the fish that we caught aboard the Islander today. Standing next to me is Willow. He's the chef aboard the Islander. And what does he got for us, Will?
We're going to do a tuna tataki with pineapple relish and fried rice.
Are we gonna pan fry this, or how are we gonna cook it?
Yeah,
up?
we're going to pan fry it. Really hot pan. Almost smoking. It's best to use a skillet. We're going to use a Teflon pan. We're going to lightly sear the tuna, let it rest for a second, then we're going to slice it up and put a lemon garlic butter sauce on top.
Cool. Well, how do we get started?
Okay, we got the tuna. Kind of pre-did the tuna already. We got the Cajun seasoning. You can get this at like Ralph's or Bond's, prefabbed at Popper Dome makes it. It's really good. And this is what it looks like. We're gonna put a little sear on it. We got our pineapple relish. Here it's pineapple, red pepper, red onion, a little garlic, little spicy chilies in there, like jalapenos. And then we're gonna start searing the tuna. We got a little oil and butter here, and we're gonna get it into our pan.
That's butter and oil mixed together?
Yeah, a little oil, just a little bit of butter. The butter helps to add a little bit of color and flavor to the fish.
So how long are we gonna sear that for?
Oh, we're gonna sear for about 10-15 seconds on each side. Cooks real quick if you get your pan that's hot. We want our fish a little bit on the rare side because we like our fish rare. So we're gonna do it like that. If you want a little bit more, you can go a little bit longer. You might want to slow down the heat on the pan because you'll get the fish a little bit black. But what you're looking for is to blacken the seasoning that's on the fish. So.
And the whole idea
We're
behind
looking
searing is that we're going to cook the outside of it and keep it nice and raw and juicy in the center.
Exactly. Kind of keep those juices right inside.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks delicious.
And we got a little bit of breakage. That's all right. And we'll just go over to here to the plate. We'll get our fish here. Good to go. And then for color and for heat, you can put a little sriracha sauce, California sauce, we'll just put the relish on there. Give a little bit of sweet and savory there.
Yeah, that's delicious. I really like the way you did that. See how it's nice and seared raw in the center. I tell you, that's the biggest mistake I see people do with fish, is they tend to overcook it. And searing's a great way to make sure that you don't do that.
Yeah, it's really important when you're catching this such a good quality fish. If you overcook it, then it's just you're getting good fish, and it's just you're not getting the best flavor that you can out of it.
Well, thank you, Will. That's delicious.
Right. Thank you, Dan.
Remember, if you want to try a dish like this, you can try this recipe at home, but you can come out here on the Islander, see Willow, he'll be glad to cook up your fish for you like that. This is really good. Well, let's get back on the water here aboard the Islander and show you more exciting action here on Sport Fishing. This week, the tip of the week is brought to you by Magic Metal Jigs and B52 Bucktail Jigs. For this week's tip of the week, I want to talk to you a little bit about the importance of listening to the crew and working together as a team with all the other passengers. Now, we got into that really frenzy bite on the Dorado and one of those kelps, and at that kelp, all these lines got tangled. Some people lost their fish because they weren't moving in front of their fish. They cut off other people. So it's really important to work together as a team. I tell you, that's a very important tip, and if you work together with the other passengers, everybody will land their fish. Well, we had a great time today out here. We're on a 2-day trip aboard the Islander, multi-day trip, fishing far offshore. We're about 160 miles south, about 50 miles off the beach. We got all the Dorado and Yellowtail today. Well, next week we're going to bring you part 2 of our exciting episode out here, showing you more exciting action. So make plans to join us right here for another exciting episode of Sport Fishing.